Hi Gemini, I hope you guys are doing great today. Yeah, I decided to do a second deep love reading for this month because the second month of September we have the sun going into Libra, right? And we're kind of kissing up onto this Mercury retrograde it's going to be happening in Scorpio. We have stuff going on. This is kind of like a strange 10-day stint at the end of the month. And I just think it's important because it's preparing us for something. Now, I do want to say that Libra news, the sun in Libra is going to be really shining heavily on your fifth house. And fifth house is a relationship house, and it has to do with romance and boyfriend-girlfriend relationships. And I don't even mean gender by that. I mean like non-marital is really what I should say. It has a lot to do with more than that, obviously. It's to do with kids and entrepreneurial efforts, but I wanted to keep it about the love for now. Okay, for now, because I just feel like a lot is going to be illuminating for a lot of the signs. You know, you guys have it in the fifth house. Aries has it in the seventh. Pisces has it in the eighth. These are the big hitters as far as relationship houses go. So depending on what your other signs are, definitely check your rising sun, moon sign, and Venus, as I always say. And I don't say that just to say it. Your moon is your emotions, your rising is your personality, and your Venus is how you meet love, you know? So very important to watch in addition to your sun, which is your ego consciousness. And I will get around to doing a video on that. To be honest, I'm like a quarter of the way through it because I'm trying to tie it all together. The houses and the planets and the placements and everything and how to understand it all. So I don't want to just do a silly old rote one having to do with just houses or whatever. Anyway, enough chat. Let's get into a deep love read. We're going to pull a Wisdom of the Oracle for a crowning message. Haven't done this in a while. Love this deck. Banged off the cobwebs. Pull it out. Let's see what kind of beautiful messages we can get for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the end of September, having to do with love. Spirit, please, thank you. Here and now. Oh my gosh. Look, I have the goosebumps. Can you see? I love this for you because staying in the present is so important right now. It really is. And what a cool message this is. It really is. Now, really important to remember here, guys, not to get too cheesy here, but the past and the future, they're illusions. And whenever you leave the present moment, you're disconnecting yourself from your inherent power to manifest your reality with any true substance. So like the past, the future, they can't give you what you need. Right now is all that really matters. So really focusing on the here and now. Now, for those of you who are in relationship already, because this is also going to have to do with, obviously, with singles. I'm going to hit all the different configurations of relationships. But whether you're single, but especially if you're in a relationship, it's very easy to yearn for a love affair, or even a friendship for that matter, in this energy that you might not have right now. One that's more romantic or more reliable or more fun, more passionate. But here, it's about accepting the good old days are gone. As I always say, right? The toothpaste is out of the tube. And a new day is dawning, though. And it's just a fact. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is, right? So you really need to let your heart trust that you have everything that you need right now, whether you have the relationship that you really want or not. But remember, again, tomorrow is beyond your reach. Yesterday cannot return. It's the now that's available to you. So stay present and aware in this moment. And just really just cherish and appreciate yourself and the beautiful things that you can bring to yourself and the gifts that you bring to relationship. Whether you're single, whether you've been married 40 years, whether you're in no communication, or whether you guys just started a relationship with somebody. It's so important to just stay in the present because I want to tell you, with the moon pounding on your fifth house, that's going to be really actually nice because Libra is the sign of partnerships, right? It's the sign of partnerships. And it's ruled by Venus. So it's about, how do I feel in this relationship? Am I giving what I need to be giving? Are things equitable? Am I feeling loved? Am I giving enough love? Am I being fair? Right? Because Venus is really wants to promote peace and love and everyone feeling valued, really is really what's ruling Libra, right? And this is happening again in your 5th house, but it's happening in your 5th house while we also have, you know, Mars retrograde in Aries, Uranus retrograde in Taurus, revving up for this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. We also still have Chiron retrograde. So we have a lot of healing and we have a lot of internal work going on in this area. So something to keep in mind. So let's pull some cards. Let's see what we have. Okay. So somebody was taking a chance on something in the recent past. I'm putting that back in because I don't remember if it was upright or was not meant to come out like that. Okay. All right. Hangman Reverse. Okay. Pentacles. All right. Pretty good outcome. So let's get right into this. So the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Knight of Pentacles in reverse is you were dealing with a stubborn person. Maybe you were stubborn or you were dealing with a stubborn person. You guys know how it rolls, right? The energy could always be vice versa. And certainly don't try to make this reading fit if it's not your reading, right? We'll get you next time. But the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, this could be a stubborn person in the mix, somebody who's lazy, not working. It doesn't even have to have anything to do with pentacles, because money, it can be, the pentacle energy can be mental, physical, emotional connection as well, right? So it's just somebody not showing up, let's just say that. And somebody not showing up and being selfish about it, being lazy about it, being kind of like, I'm not going to say apathetic because that sounds kind of cruel, but like just not showing up, you know, just not doing the work. And then we have the wheel, and the wheel is ruled by Jupiter, which is typically like a good fortune card. But the main thing here is it's a turning point. So there's a turning point, and there was a decision that you were going to give something a go anyway, Gemini. So even though something was definitely not ideal, which certainly speaks to the here and now energy, you were willing to give it a go. Like you identified, it wasn't like the things that weren't working were hiding, but it was, I feel like you were with a very open mind and an open heart wanting to give it a go. Okay, so again, these energies could be vice versa. Right now I see the Queen of Pentacles and we have the Ten of Wands. Okay, and they're both reverse. Sometimes the reversals are better, so don't get upset if you see reversals, as I always say. But so the Ten of Wands in reverse is taking a break, finally just saying no to something. It's about freedom. It's about lightening up, because the Ten of Wands in the upright, it's like, I can't hold these wands anymore, right? It's the card of emotional overload, I always call it. It's a heavy, heavy energy. It's Saturn and Sagittarius. It's the structure. It's like wearing this band around your waist, somebody holding you back from being able to move forward and having things in the way you want. And we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and this indicates somebody who's greedy or envious, or there's like an imbalance in financial dependence. Maybe you on them or on you, or this could even just be a perception that there's that going on, right? As far as finances, if it has to do with money, it doesn't have to. It could certainly be this kind of energy where it's like one person is giving a hell of a lot more than the other. One person is taking the other one for taking advantage of the other one, where there's this level of assumption. They're going to do it. They're going to call. They're going to take care of this. They're going to take care of that. And it's like this kind of vibe where it's like, well, obviously not everybody's showing up in this situation the same way. Now, if this has to do with, if you're single, by the way, this Knight of Pentacles in reverse, this could certainly be where you're at in relationship right now, right? You don't want to get involved in a relationship because you don't have enough money, or you don't want to get involved in a relationship because you're just not feeling connected enough. But you're going to get pushed to a point where you're going to be willing to take the chance. You're going to be arguing with yourself, single Gemini, where you're going to be like, I don't know if I want to do it again. I don't know if I want to, put myself out there and get hurt, and kind of maybe using a bunch of different excuses. Now, the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands, both reverse for you, could really just be that where you've reached this point where you're just like, got to take a break from this. Saying no, I'm not going to keep myself shackled anymore. I'm just going to be. I'm not going to worry about being in a relationship. I would love it if it happened, but I'm not going to sweat it, right? You can't sweat it, right? Seriously, all right? Because, and then to have the Queen of Pentacles here, again, this is a greedy person. There being some sort of, situation where you're very much in touch with what you want, need, and desire, and you're really not willing to budge. So I'm feeling like a lot of you are kind of in that space right now where you'd love to be involved with somebody. It's not that you wouldn't, but you know what you're willing to do. And it's a way of self-protection, of course, but it's like necessary right now. It's just necessary. It's where you need to be. You just need to be in you and very deeply in touch with what you want, need, and desire. And that's what you need to do right now. I mean, it really is. It's like this finally saying no and saying, I'm not going to be shackled to obsessing about that relationship or obsessing about being in a relationship or trying to make something work that's just not working. I'm not going to do that to myself anymore, which I think is awesome. And then we have the Hangman Reverse and the Page of Pentacles in your challenge. So the Hangman Reverse is telling me that a challenge here is somebody in the mix here is dealing with selfishness or feeling like a victim of some kind. Because remember, the Hangman is a Neptune energy, and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, which is the 12th house. And, the shadow side of Pisces, right, when we're talking about like the reversal is that feeling like a victim. But a lot of times we are actually in this energy, right? Because that energy it gets martyred a lot, right? Martyred out. And then when you get to a point where it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's so unfair, what I've been allowing to go on. Or that was so unfair in that relationship. And realizing it, like the challenge is, for those of you who are single, the challenge is in trying to get past and really, and it's very interesting because it's like, not like you don't understand that whatever past relationship you were in that didn't work, you understand it didn't work for a reason. You're not in a place of unknowing when it comes to that. But it's more like trying to sweep off your soul. Like I always call it like this, the residue on the soul. Like we need a brush sometimes to go in there and like really clean it out to make us nice and clean and fresh for that next person. Not so easy sometimes. So I feel like you guys may be in that space. Others of you, maybe if you're not single, you may be dealing with somebody who's just very selfish, who feels like a victim in the whole thing. And you're sitting there with a big question mark over your head, like, what the hell are you talking about? You're not a victim, and so a lot of you may be dealing with that. Okay, and then we have the Page of Pentacles. So whenever we have the page is always a little immature. So, this could be, well, first of all, for some of you, let me just say this, because this is going to resonate with some of you. Maybe some of you, the challenge within this relationship is a new job that you just got. So that could be the situation with some of you. Others of you, the challenge might be in raising money for something, saving money for something. So maybe you guys want to move in together. You want to get a house, you want to get married, or you want to go on a trip, or whatever it is, right? Fill in the blank. It's going to, many Geminis out there, different ages, different stations in life, but maybe money is an issue. And you're having a hard time getting that together. Okay, so that could certainly be a challenge. You might also be dealing though with, some of you may be dealing with a partner who maybe just started a new job or has very little money, right? Because the Page of Pentacles is like, you're not very abundant yet. You're on your way. It's upright. You're on your way. This could also indicate, if it has nothing to do with money, it could have to do with somebody being rather immature within a connection. Not that they're not a good soul, but they just might not know what really healthy, solid communication is like, what intense intimacy is. They just might not know. Seriously, because they don't know. So that could be kind of a frustrating energy to deal with, but that is what I'm seeing in your challenge. Now, as far as the final outcome, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse and we have the Six of Pentacles. So the Knight of Swords in reverse is telling me this person is rather deliberate in being manipulative, could even be cruel, could have a little bit of an explosive energy about them. you know, where they get angry really quickly and they go right into deflection and turning the tables and gaslighting and telling you that everything that you're saying is wrong. But it doesn't mean that they're a narcissist. It could mean that that's just their way of dealing with the frustration and the hurt. I do want to say that. Arguing happens. It's part of the human condition. And sometimes we get ugly and stupid when we argue, right? But I do see this ending up being a circumstance, but I'm not that worried about it, because we have the Six of Pentacles here, which is about like being more generous with each other as far as communication and as far as what we need, and there being this reciprocity of at least honoring what the other person needs and wants, right? It's kind of like, I have your back, you have mine, you know, we're kind of in this together. Now this could also be, though, a situation where this is what you guys, this is the point you guys need to get to. And let me be clear on what I mean by that. Someone might be really angry over money, where they feel like they're paying too much in the relationship, or too much is on their shoulders, be it money, communication, making plans, doing everything, like the running of the relationship. But this tells me that that's going to be the point of conversation. But there might be some anger involved in that, where it's going to be a lot like, I don't do that. Well, what do you want from me? Or this is all I have. Or, you know, and then it's like, well, then look for more work. Or, you know, if it has to do with money. If it doesn't have to do with money, it's like, go buy a damn book then and figure out how to be more present in the relationship. I don't know what to tell you, but, you know, that kind of energy could certainly be that. Okay, either one of those. Now, if you're single, this can absolutely have to do with, well, I don't like this as an energy that you're meeting, because if you're meeting somebody, this is like somebody who's gonna be kind of manipulative. For those of you who are single, be careful, because you might be with somebody who's manipulative, who's gonna come in and try to manipulate the circumstance where, you know, you're giving them and they say they're gonna give to you. But I don't really trust that energy for those of you who are single Geminis. But I don't want to like shut this person down right now. I'm going to pull qualifiers, but I'm going to pull qualifiers primarily on the challenge and the outcome. Yeah, because there's a sense of like, there's a deliberate nature about the Knight of Swords reverse. It's why I always feel like, you know, whenever you have swords reverse, then you get the Knight in there. That's a nifty cocktail for some manipulation, you know. So we want to be careful of that. So we have the Fool reverse. We have the Nine of Swords for that. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay. Reverse. And then we have the Four of Wands. Okay, good. All right, so qualifying the Hangman reverse, we have the Fool. Okay, I mean, so interesting to me, because the Fool, well, first of all, the Fool is a Uranus energy, right? And it's about being daring and being brave and all that. But in the reverse, this is a level of apathy. Did I just mention being apathetic before? I forget the messages when they come like so fast. They come and go. But it's this idea of carelessness, apathetic, like, you know, being absent, not showing up for the relationship. So this is creating, this is creating some feels in either that person. This could be you, this could be them, however it's working, but where you're like, you know, wow, how selfish can you be? And you feeling like a victim because this person is just not showing up in the way that you see as being completely plausible and possible and normal, like normal. I feel like if you're resonating with this, I feel like you're in a relationship, in a connection where it's just like, why can't you just be more fill in the blank? It's not that difficult. You're like, you know, and not even in a way where you're trying to change them, because you know they have the capacity. But it may be a situation, Gemini, where you're dealing with somebody who's going through stuff right now. My God, everybody, right? It's such a weird energy right now. First of all, how tired are we all? Can we just say like, oh, so tired with this Mars retrograde, right? It's so weird. Okay, and then we have qualifying the Page of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords, 3 a.m. card. Nightmares, anxiety, grief, depression. hanging out in there with the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so how we're trying to maybe get our money together. We're feeling really anxious about it. We're trying to get this connection together. We're feeling really anxious about it. But Gemini, okay, how do I want to say this? You have to identify in yourself if you're trying to fit a circle in a square, or like if your shoes are on the wrong feet. You know, the sayings that I always say. Where are you trying to make something work that's just not working? And are you trying to make it work based on an old, outdated paradigm that you knew once upon a time that they were capable of? Well, now is the big question of, was that the real them, or was that them trying to, on good behavior, and now you're seeing the real them? You know what I'm saying? But I do see this energy of like somebody not showing up and you feeling just so frustrated, so frustrated. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. So good card. This could indicate a new job, a new home, hope returning, recovering from some kind of situation. So I do have to say, if we're putting this with this person who's, you know, kind of corrupt or abusive, right, in the way that they're approaching things, I do see like a little bit of a come to Jesus moment here, which is good, right? Because this does indicate hope returning and recovering from something. So I feel like the person that you're involved with needs a minute to get in touch with whatever it is that's really troubling them. But the Five of Pentacles is telling me that they are going to come to that. And then look at this. This is great. We have the Four of Wands. I love this. The Four of Wands is the honeymoon card. It's Jupiter in Libra, right? Jupiter expands whatever it's in, and Libra is all about relationship. This incites a firm foundation. This is celebrating. This is friends, families. This is also reunions, guys. This is one of the reunion cards. So for those of you who are maybe, now when I say reunion, you could be sharing the same bed with somebody for 30 years and feel so distant from them. And I know you guys know what I mean if you're resonating with what I just said. I feel like there's a finding each other again kind of thing here going on, which is really quite beautiful. For those of you in that space. For others of you, I feel like some of you who are single now are going to be meeting somebody who can seem like a bit of a, like, how do I want to say this? Not so great when you first meet them. Not a good first impression. How's that? Not a good first impression. But then that not lasting. Maybe you go on a date and you're like, what an idiot that person was, right? I don't like that word, but you know what I'm saying. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. You know, you guys have a couple of more conversations, you're realizing that there was a misunderstanding, which is happening left, right, and center in relationships right now because of the energy. It's very interesting. So many of the readings I'm doing, it's like people are contacting me like, oh, you're right. You know, it was just a misunderstanding. Yeah, it's because of the retrograde mania that's going on. All right. So I like the Four of Wands. That's really, really good. Let's pull one more. Let's pull one more clarifier for those. I like the direction that it's going. So let's just see what else we need to understand about that. Okay, so we have the Hangman, and the Fool reverse is clarified by the Eight of Swords in the upright. Okay, and this Nine of Swords is being clarified by the Queen of Swords in reverse. So the Eight of Swords always feels like you're in something that you really feel like you don't belong in, right? It's like the self-imposed sense of isolation, feeling like you don't belong in something. It's a very mental energy. It really is. It's your perception, right? Like this would be you, and that's what you see yourself as kind of trapped in a situation, like you don't belong there anymore. Like maybe you did at one point, but you don't belong there anymore, right? And because of that, it's kind of making you check out a little bit, or that you're dealing with an energy who you feel like is just kind of checking out on you. You know, it's not a comfortable energy, but it's always one that like you wanted it at one point in a different way, or they wanted it at one point in a different way, but it's just like feeling like just not right. Now, what could be happening here is the relationship, and I know, hold on, you ready? The relationship could be deepening. Depending on where you're at with your fear of intimacy, that is a feeling that you could feel when you're getting sucked in even deeper and pulled into what real love is and what a real relationship is. Sometimes it's not, you know, butterflies and roses, you know, and you know, unicorn breath every day. It's just not like that. So that could be for some of you. Others of you, you're in this space of realizing, well, you know what? This is really not the right thing for me. It's really not. And then we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. I mean, this indicates a cold person, very rigid in logic, could even be rather dishonest, just not very kind. And we have this anxiety about this. So I'm definitely feeling, Gemini, I mean, I can't get it any more, that right now, if you're resonating with this, you're in a situation where somebody's apathetic, somebody's cold, somebody's disconnected, somebody's not doing the work, and the other one's like, why can't you just do A, B, and C? Uncomfortable energy for sure. That's definitely where it's at right now. And I almost feel you just kind of like, I was just going to say, kind of like in the Hangman energy, the King of Pentacles, where it's just like, all right, let me just wait and not do anything, you know? Whether you're in relationship, whether you're not in relationship. If you're single, I see you struggling to get over something. Again, I'm still getting that here. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse, the King of Pentacles upright. So King of Pentacles upright, I mean, I like that energy because it's like solid, practical, wise person who understands connection, who's, you know, getting in touch with money, who's, you know, who's understanding that, right? And we have the Queen of Wands reverse. This is again another card of apathy, I do have to say, but this could also indicate somebody who's maybe a little boring, or you might be bored in the relationship. You might be sensing some coldness from the person, some aggression kind of like underneath it. So it's like on the surface, it seems like they might have things figured out, but like you can't escape how something feels left of center for you with this person. You just can't escape it. Let me pull 2 more cards for that. 8 of Cups. I see you walking away, Gem. 8 of Cups. It's withdrawal, retreating, moving on. Moving on. King of Cups in reverse. Abusive. Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation, I feel like with money. Something having to do with resources as well. But you may be dealing with an energy like that. Somebody who's rather manipulative. I mean, I have to tell you, just in a nutshell, this whole thing is very clear. There's a feeling of unsettled in relationship for you right now. Even if you're single, I don't feel like you might be ready because you're Gemini, right? So it's very easy for you to like say, I'm gonna put this on a shelf, put on my cutest outfit and go out and meet somebody. Well, it's hard to do that in the pandemic, but you know what I mean? Like the Geminis, it's easy, right? For your energy to do that over other signs. And it's not that you are being, you know, trapped in illusion or anything like that. It's just simply like you're capable of doing that. Like, this is hurting me, so I'm going to let that other side of myself hold on to that while this side goes out and tries to have a good time, or at least tries to enjoy other things in life. But I do feel like if you're single, you're going to even be struggling with that right now because of a whole host of things. Because you're going to be stuck inside yourself. We all are. With this retrograde energy, remember, retrograde means to turn within. Forget all the other airy-fairy stuff, whatever. Like, just keeping it real in the day-to-day. What does it mean? It means being very in touch, or being pushed to get in touch with what's going on inside of yourself, and what do you really want, and where are, you know, you in charge, and where do you not have any say really in what's going on around you, and really getting in touch with that, getting in touch with what do you need for self, right? Mars retrograde in Aries. Aries is in all of our first houses of self, all of us, right? We have Chiron retrograde. Chiron is the wounded warrior. It's about getting in touch with past hurts, pulling them, shining the light onto them, and making us look at them. Neptune retrograde. What do you want for your future? What do you want? And now we're getting ready to go into Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. That's about, you can't not look underneath it anymore. No place to hide, because we're coming right up onto the age of Aquarius. So we're getting ourselves ready for this amazing, beautiful winter. Really, I think that the seed, as I mentioned in my video, The Fall of Chaos, we're all getting ourselves ready for that third week in December specifically. Okay, went off on that little tangent, but I felt like somebody needed to hear that. Let's pull some oracles. I need more time to figure things out, but I don't want to lose you. You show me a stability and security I have never known. I can't ignore the signs I'm receiving any longer. They are everywhere. You are everywhere. Ooh, Gemini, you're under somebody's skin like nobody's business. All right. All right. That's the way it rolls sometimes. Or you might be feeling like this about somebody else. Keys on a ring, many options, decision, unconventional, string along, one night stand. Guys, this doesn't have to be all of those at the same time. These are just things that it can be. So there can be a situation where either you feel like you have many options. You know, do I want to be with them? Do I want to be with this person? Should I just be single? What should I do? Should I stay in this and find happiness in another area of my life? You know, figuring out what you want to do, needing to make that decision. But there's some sort of unconventional approach to whatever is going on right now. For some of you, you could be having a one-night stand. Be careful if you do that. Need to say. Although I can't imagine too many people are doing things like that these days. You know, think about it. But you never know. I'm not judging. Do you? Not today. Not dealing with the hurt, avoiding conversation, call person, keeping up the boundaries. Yeah, I mean, listen, I feel like for some of you, if you're resonating with this, it's like you guys are in this weird space with this relationship. And that, there's, to me, this is another one. It's like apathy. Not dealing. I'm just not dealing with it. Just don't care enough to deal with it right now. What a horrible feeling that is. Then we have wedding rings. Crack me up. Union, wedding, married. Soul connection. Everlasting love. I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm saying that this may be a situation of a couple people who have a lot of deep emotions, who get caught up in a lot of stuff, hamster wheel action, together, not together, fight, not fight, ignore each other, not ignore each other, because of fear, because of vulnerability, because of insecurity, because of a bunch of other things, where now it's like, when we're all at this point where the true versions of ourselves are going to show, whether we like it or not. And that's going to happen with the people that we're with too. And that could be very uncomfortable for people who are not comfortable really looking at themselves. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what we have. Forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Yeah, I mean, here and now. What happened, happened. What's the point to hanging on to what happened in the past? There's no point. There's no point. Doesn't mean that you have to repeat that. It just means to forgive. It's a release to yourself. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind. For the heart is the gateway to the soul. Yeah, again, back to, I don't know if I'm articulating myself correctly, which is a space of discomfort for me, to be honest with you. You know, is doing what I do. But I feel like, how do I want to say this? The reality of a relationship that's going on here is so deep and it's in your heart and it's in your soul, but it may not make sense to your mind. You may have a laundry list over why you should not be with this person. They're terrible at communication. I hate having sex with them. They're not even good looking anymore. They're whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. Or I don't like how they communicate. They speak to me with a tone. But your heart is telling you something else. So it gets to a point where it's like, well, maybe it's kind of like a cyclical kind of thing where they're a certain way and you're a certain way because of how they are and because of how you are. And maybe that conversation needs to be had. Because that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a weird space in a relationship here. You guys may not be together right now. You may be together. If you're together and you're resonating with this, you're in like a strange space. We have the Tower. And we have Judgment. Both of these are reversed. So the Judgment reverse is somebody being in denial. An error in judgment, right? An error in judgment. Fearing change. Having a weakness about something, fearing change, fearing letting go of that last part of yourself, or them feeling that fear of just letting go of that last part of themselves. Well, everybody might be saying, you know everything about me, I'm being 100%. Oh, there might be another 10% under there that needs to be released, right? And the Tower reverse is about just feeling, first of all, like you averted a disaster, right? Because of this fear of change. See, because something ended here. A way of being ended. But I also want to say that some of you may be experiencing an ending of a way of thinking, an ending of processing, an ending of perspective. The way that you've been thinking maybe hasn't been serving you or the person that you're with, them realizing that they have not been serving themselves or the relationship, thinking the way they have. I don't consider the Tower a negative card. I really, really don't. It's a fear of change. It's something falling apart, but you're trying to hold on to it because you're scared of letting it go. And the Judgment in reverse is this denial. And again, 2 fearing of change cards. And there being a weakness about it. No question. Wow, to get those 2 major arcanas together, that is no joke right there. It's no joke. Let's see what we have. We have the Hierophant, okay. We have the Ace of Coins. We have the 6 of Swords, and we have the King of Coins. So the Hierophant, well, the Hierophant can be about those of you who are married. This is about celebrating the sacred in your marriage. But this is about traditions and conventional expectations and the need to conform to something. So it's funny that we got the Hierophant, which is about conventions, under Keys on a Ring, which is about unconventional. So there might be something unconventional about your relationship right now, but one of you or both of you are being called to make it more conventional. And we have the Ace of Coins. So this is about a new connection, a new beginning. Some of you, it could be a new job, but this could be a new investment. So maybe you guys are buying a home together. You're starting this new cycle. You're buying a business together. You are connecting, you're reconnecting in a different way. There's a lot of newness here for me. Definitely leaving the toxicity, behind. You don't want to, this is like a necessary transition. This is relocating. Guys, this can quite literally be, these two, literally like buying a new home. This could be buying the new home, and this is often indicated as relocating, moving, but it's transition nonetheless. Okay, at the very least, it's that. And then we have a solid and practical leader, somebody who's wise with the King of Coins. So this could be just wise about the relationship now. It's like, wow, after all of this, this is, wow. I need a nap. This was a draining reading. This is like, wow. So check it out though. So right now, so if I post this today and you guys listen to it, I'm probably going to get a bunch of like thumbs down and unsubscribes, because I'm telling you though, I'm feeling this so strongly. You don't see this working out right now, but it will. Please have faith in this. It's not gonna happen in a snap. I feel this sort of going into November, guys. I'm feeling that very intuitively. But right now, you're just trying to like be you, do you, live in the moment. Just to kind of stay grounded, stay focused. That's what you should be doing. All of this is going to be unraveling and folding out as it needs to. As the astrology continues. I will be posting another astrology video, especially for the Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. And then we have, you know, the 2 moons in October, and we're kissing up to the eclipses of Gemini and Sag in November. So, you know, I'm going to be doing more astrology, but I wanted to get one of these in. All right, guys, that is what I have for you. You know what, let me just throw some astro dice. So we got Leo, Jupiter, 7th house of partnerships. Yes, listen. Jupiter is all about luck and expansion. It's finally at a retrograde. Leo is the 5th house of fun, romance, love, you know, relationship, having a good time. 7th house is all about partnerships. So listen, do you, be you, but understand that what's going to result from this time period is an expansion in that 5th house energy. I really feel like it, you know, with the sun shining in there for you. Okay, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.